We love a good unboxing video, and we just received a very exciting shipment for our farm business. If you're new here, my name is Becca. You may know me from Becca Grows Stuff. I also own and operate a farm called Forest Farm. We raise some really cool breeds of chickens, and we sell their chicks locally and hatching eggs nationwide. We are an NPIP and AI Clean certified flock, which means every year a state vet comes out and tests each of our flock members to make sure our flock is healthy and to make sure that we are following good biosecurity measures. I could talk about our birds all day, every day, but if you want to learn more, then I invite you to follow along on our social media channels. You can find the farm page on Forest Farm WA, that's Forest with 2 R's, and I'll make sure to link those below. We're both on Instagram and on Facebook. And in future videos, I will be sure to talk more about the chickens that we raise. But for now, I want to show you what we got. We decided to use last year's profits from the farm in order to upgrade our incubator system. Now, for the past few years that we've been hatching eggs, we've been getting by just fine with some tabletop incubators. They're the kinds that you can easily find in your local feed store. They're made out of styrofoam usually. They do the job okay. But we live in a really dry climate, and I was having a lot of trouble keeping the humidity levels to be consistent in those incubators. But since our business was steadily growing, we decided to upgrade to this cabinet incubator that we bought from Hatching Time. This is an all-in-one incubator and hatcher. It can hold up to 120 chicken eggs at a time, and you can also use it to hatch other species of eggs as well. You may have to buy different sizes of rotating trays for them. We also raise geese on our farm, and so I did end up purchasing an extra rotating tray that can fit goose eggs, and I'll show you that in a bit. Now, right off the bat, this incubator seems really intuitive. It comes with a quick start manual and a guide where you can scan and look up an installation video, or if you just follow directions, they give you a more detailed how-to. I didn't bother looking at the video because the instructions in the manual were pretty straightforward on how to set this up. They send all the adapters and cables and cords that you need to set up the incubator, and I'll show you how I set these up here in a second. But here's the goose egg turner that I was telling you about earlier. It can hold up to 3 goose eggs. I'll probably buy a couple more. The rest of the larger components are packed very tightly inside of the incubator itself. These little pieces in this Ziploc baggie are the connectors for the corners of the hatching baskets that I'll show you here in a second as well. This piece right here is the humidity reservoir tank, and it's actually a really big reason why I chose this incubator model. Because the system is designed in such a way where it will continually monitor the humidity within the incubator, and I won't really have to do anything to change that apart from making sure that there is water in the tank, which was such a selling point because, like I said earlier, we live in a really dry climate and I have such a hard time maintaining humidity with my other incubators that I have. And a lot of incubators have this huge design flaw where you have to open the incubator in order to add water to keep the humidity up, which in turn decreases the humidity. So this is really great. These are the egg turning racks. They can each hold about 30 chicken eggs. And this black piece down here is the internal humidity tray, which once I'm ready to actually set some eggs and test this incubator out, I will put some water in here and it helps calibrate the incubator better. Okay, these are the hatching baskets, and it comes with 4 baskets, so 8 pieces total, top and bottom. And so once your eggs reach lockdown, you move them into these baskets and then your chicks will hatch in here. Once I actually get the incubator up and running in the next video, I'll show you more how this works, but this is a closer look at where the humidity and the water vapor comes into the incubator and the fan moves it around to keep the humidity levels stable, which I think is pretty darn cool. Alright, so we've got everything unboxed, and then following the instructions in the little booklet on the out-of-the-box setup guide, we're first going to attach the humasonic reservoir, which is this little piece right here. There's a little hole in the side of the incubator where you just stick it in. It's a snug fit, so push a little hard here. Then you drop this little gadget down here, and then you just connect the 2 tanks with that little clear hose that it came with. The next parts are really kind of just as simple as you plug and go. So it comes with all the adapters that you need. and you just plug in that little piece of the stainless steel portion that is on the bottom of the reservoir. Plug that into the adapter and plug it into the power port on top of the incubator. The next step in the booklet is to fill the internal humidity tray. If you were going to immediately try the incubator out and hatch some chicks, then obviously go ahead and do this and follow the instructions. I'm not filling it up at the moment because I am about to go on vacation. We're not going to be hatching chicks while we're gone. We wouldn't do that to our farm sitters. So I'm just going to load these trays back up, connect them to their individual power ports, which is another really cool function of this incubator. So you can individually plug and unplug each level, and it gives you a lot of control that way. Once we are ready to start hatching some eggs, I'm going to take this bottom part out and switch it with a hatching tray or a hatching box. You just grab those little plastic pieces, those plastic pegs that I showed you at the beginning, and you got yourself a box. And it's as easy as just sliding it in where the tray was. You don't have to put it on a certain rack or anything. It fits perfectly within that bottom level, or really on any level. You can have this whole thing be your hatchery. You can have this whole thing be just egg turners. You can totally customize it to be however you want. I'll talk more about that too on the next video, and when I show you actually how I'm setting it up and hatching our first eggs in here. This is an all-in-one unit, and so you can use it to hatch eggs, you can use it to set eggs, you can have eggs in all different stages of incubation, and it works out just fine. It's pretty cool. Can't wait to show you more on that and see how it works for ourselves. So the next step, again, just plug and play. We're plugging the adapter into the individual egg turner and then plugging that into the power port on top. The power cord goes on the back, and then you plug it into your outlet, preferably a grounded one. And something that wasn't in the manual that I had to kind of play around with for a little bit, the on button is on the back where you plug it in. I was looking for it for a while. And voila, it turns on. The next part in the manual is to set your parameters based on what you are hatching, which I'm not doing in this video again, but I will do that in the next video if you're interested in a next video. Overall impression, we are very excited for this upgrade. I think it'll work really well with our setup. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll link everything in my description as well.